you really looked out the window, what do you see? The awakening of the rising sun, or light dancing across the mountaintops? Look for a moment longer and you'll see beauties all around us. Like a painting, moving in the wind, speaking to the soul. The world flashing past, still yet to explore. Look out the window. The summer of Jeep is here.
Right now, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for 90 days on select 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee models.
If you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and a high risk for fracture, now might not be the best time to ask yourself, are my bones strong? Life's full of make or break moments. That's why it's so important to help reduce your risk of fracture. With Prolia. Only Prolia is proven to help strengthen and protect bones from fracture with one shot every 6 months.
Do not take Prolia if you have low blood calcium, are pregnant, are allergic to it, or take Xgeva. Serious allergic reactions like low blood pressure, trouble breathing, throat tightness, face, lip, or tongue swelling, rash, itching, or hives have happened. Tell your doctor about dental problems, as severe jawbone problems may happen, or new or unusual pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred. Speak to your doctor before stopping, skipping, or delaying Prolia, as spine and other bone fractures have occurred. Prolia can cause serious side effects like low blood calcium, serious infections, which could need hospitalization, skin problems, and severe bone, joint, or muscle pain.
Are you ready? Ask your doctor about Prolia. FDA approved for 10 years.
All right, let's roll.
Come on, pizza's in. Whoa.
This is my new pizza, the Shaq-a-Roni, and it's bigger than pizza. Because for every Shaq-a-Roni sold, $1 is donated to the Papa John's Foundation for Building Community.
Talk. You want to walk?
Come on, Tucker, let's go.
Tuck, Tuck. Want to walk, boy?
Tucker, you want to go out?
When the whole family needs an excuse to get out, Nutro's Clean Recipe will help your dog keep up.
On the road again.
Book 2 separate qualifying stays and earn a free night. The open road is open again, and wherever you're headed, Choice Hotels is there. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
At Physicians Mutual, we know that planning for retirement can feel scary.
I see you're about to turn 65.
You know what that means. Medicare. It doesn't cover dental. What high bills you'll have.
Actually, we're getting a Physicians Mutual.
Oh, great. She'll be covered. Retire with confidence. We'll listen and find you the coverage you need.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Whoever said our planet had to explain itself. Explore the strange phenomena of our weird Earth. Sunday nights on the Weather Channel.
The huge megacity of Baoding, China, home to 2 million people. August 11, 2018. A CCTV camera keeps tabs on a suburban street. When out of nowhere,
that's insane! The road just explodes underneath him.
What the heck is going on there? This is crazy and super dangerous. There's a strip. It's like an even strip, almost like someone put it there on purpose.
but this isn't a police trap, and it isn't a faulty pipeline under the road.
It looks almost like in a disaster monster movie when the monster's just about to break through the road and start eating people.
I have absolutely no idea what could have caused that.
In China, there are enough roads to go around the Earth 125 times. Every year, 63,000 people are killed on China's roads, and the highest percentage of fatalities are motorcycle riders like the men in the footage. But few accidents are as strange and unexpected as this one. Physicist Simon Clark notices Baoding lies on the North China Plain, one of the most active earthquake zones in the world.
This looks to me like an earthquake, just throwing up the road like it's some plaything.
No country in the world gets hit as badly by earthquakes as China.
In the top 10 earthquake casualty numbers of all time, China has 3 of them, including the top 2. And that's not just a coincidence.
The worst earthquake ever was in China's Shanxi province in 1556. Over 800,000 people died as ground fissures opened, soil turned to liquid, and landslides crashed down. The second deadliest happened in 1976, just 200 miles away from Baoding. This 7.5 magnitude earthquake is thought to have killed over 600,000 people. It was so bad, the local population started to believe the government had angered the gods and lost the mandate of heaven. But there are reasons why China gets hammered so hard by earthquakes.
China is the most populous country on Earth, where 1.3 billion people live, and a lot of them live on the east coast in large cities. So earthquake casualties will be higher in this area than in other earthquake-prone zones with much lower population densities. Another reason why earthquakes are particularly dangerous in China is their infrastructure. Building regulations are good, but they still lag way behind Western standards. In America, for example, when a tower block is constructed, it's expected to last 70 years, whereas in China, it's expected to last no more than 30.
The same is true of highway building standards, especially away from the main city centers. But though this looks like an earthquake, and we're in a deadly earthquake zone, no seismic activity was recorded in Baoding on the day the footage was shot. Scientists asked what other factor could have caused this weird eruption. In August 2018, Baoding had been sweltering in a 90-degree Fahrenheit heat wave for 2 weeks.
Now, summer in China can be exceptionally hot, but that August of 2018, it was especially severe.
Heat waves strike this part of the world with sweltering ferocity. 2018 was the hottest summer in the region ever. Temperatures soared to up to 99 degrees Fahrenheit. To make matters worse, the plain is one of the most intensely farmed regions in the world. Over 1 trillion gallons of water are pumped onto the fields every year. Moisture from recently watered fields rises up into the atmosphere, and the moisture traps the heat from the sun.
Means that even after the sun is set, much of the heat of the day sort of remains trapped, keeping it warmer than it would even during night. And that consistent heat poses serious health effects on people. And stepping outside during a heat wave can sometimes almost feel like a physical blow. And the longer you spend in it, the more damaging to our health it can be.
The heat takes a toll on human lives and human infrastructure.
In England, a train was derailed because of deformation, because of warping of the train tracks in the extreme heat.
As the metal in the track heats up, it expands. Huge pressure builds up along the metal lines until they suddenly and catastrophically buckle.
August 2018 was something else. Baoding City hit nearly 100 degrees, and whilst that's very unpleasant for people, it can also have serious effects on the infrastructure and the roads.
The road in the footage is not made from metal. It is made from giant slabs of concrete. Concrete is one of the strongest building materials known to man. Not only that, it barely expands in the heat. So how could extreme temperatures make concrete explode?
Fine. No one leaves the table till you're finished.
Fine. We'll sleep here.
It's the easiest because it's the cheesiest. Kraft, for the win-win.
Why would your kids need a Greenlight debit card? Well, they're gonna need money sometimes. With Greenlight, you can send them money instantly, manage where they can spend, and get alerts when they use their card. Imagine the peace of mind that would bring you. Greenlight.
With Domino's $5.99 mix and match deal, you can feed a family of 4 for about $3 per person. So we asked one of our families to help us make this commercial about that deal. Safely feed a family of 4 for about $3 per person with the $5.99 mix and match deal.
On the road again.
Book 2 separate qualifying stays and earn a free night. The open road is open again, and wherever you're headed, Choice Hotels is there. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Daddy, what's that big moving house thing?
It's a motorhome, Junior. Modern invention.
Modern invention? We carried our homes with us since, like, forever.
Yeah, but humans have Geico to protect them. Something goes wrong, they're covered. What do we have?
What could go wrong? Ooh, a feather.
A feather. Duck, Junior!
That's no duck, Daddy. That's a vulture.
Geico for RVs. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
My Beneful Superfood Blend has me feeling super healthy with salmon, cranberries. Oh, here comes Superfood Wet with beef and pumpkin. It's like a superfood sundae on a Monday.
Beneful Superfood Blend. Try more of our recipes with no artificial preservatives.
Currently in our area, 73 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally clear. Low 67. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, partly cloudy skies. High 88. Winds southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday night, mainly clear skies. Low 70. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Millions of people are saying yes to Allegra, including the experts. It's the #1 allergist-recommended brand for non-drowsy relief. Allegra works 2 times faster than Claritin, and while Zyrtec may cause drowsiness, Allegra won't. Say yes to Allegra.
When pain wears you down, you need fast relief. And new Icy Hot Dry Spray delivers. Feel it working instantly, providing powerful relief to muscles and joints. Icy to dull, hot to relax. New Icy Hot Dry Spray.
From DIY beach days to kiddo curls to playgrounds reimagined, we're all finding new ways to soak up a little sun, but sunscreen is still a must. So grab the brand derms trust most for their families. Love, Neutrogena.
If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Homeowners Relief Line now. New laws are in effect that may save your home.
In North China, during an extreme heat wave, a concrete road explodes. But why?
So concrete is made with water, and water is still trapped in concrete when it's placed. What happens is, with a lot of heat, that water can change phase. It can go from liquid to vapor, and when that happens, it expands, and that expansion can be rapid.
Steam pressure builds up inside the concrete like a balloon being filled with more and more air.
And with the concrete above and all of that pressure, you have a pressurized vessel that can actually be explosive, like really explosive. So just a little bit of friction can cause that explosion to occur. It could be a temperature spike, but it could be this motorist driving over at the right time at the exact right spot, and the vulnerability just cracked and that explosion ensues.
Scientists have named the phenomena a concrete explosion. The toughest and most expensive concretes are also the most watertight, and therefore these concretes are more likely to explode violently.
This situation, although rare, is super dangerous, and you just never know when it's going to happen or where it's going to happen.
As the North China Plain continues to break world records for extreme temperatures, structural engineers will have to be mindful of the vast concrete metropolises that have risen up here in the last 50 years. Like the mega city of Baoding, where many of the 2 million residents live in high-rise apartment blocks.
As temperatures increase, we're only going to see more and more of these problems, and the effects of them are likely to be worse and worse. It's a scary thought.
Uruguay's capital, Montevideo, one of the most important and busiest ports in South America. In September 2019, a man and his family take a walk along the harbor pier and witness an incredible sight.
Es un barco gigante.
Looking at this image, everything seems to be wrong.
It looks like it's floating in a cloud.
It's like a ghost ship in the sky, but that's not really where ships are supposed to be.
It's one of those old-timey giant ships with the multiple smokestacks. That's what it looks like.
I mean, this goes against everything that we know. When there's water here, the ship should not be floating above it. It should be on it.
Some local sailors believe this massive chimney rising out of the smoke is a ghost ship, the phantom of a Nazi boat that was sunk here in the opening days of World War II.
The Battle of the River Plate was the first naval battle of the Second World War.
December 13th, 1939. The German battleship Graf Spee is outnumbered by 3 British warships and sustains crippling damage in the estuary of the River Plate. The German battleship limps into Montevideo Harbor. Finally, the captain decides to scuttle the ship rather than be captured.
Between the two sides, 108 men lost their lives in the battle.
It seems incredible that the Graf Spee could return after more than 80 years, but reports of ghost ships at sea are frequently reported.
Since sailing was invented, sailors have been superstitious and they have observed things at sea like this, things which appear to sail above the sea. I'm actually the son of a sailor, so I can tell you that they claim to see things like this quite frequently. It's possible that these phenomena that sailors saw were actually caused by meteorological phenomena.
It's possible that false horizons like this have contributed to stories of ghost ships. Is it possible that whatever is causing the ship to appear to float above the water could be responsible for the sightings of phantom vessels down the ages?
One of the most famous ship stories is actually that of the Flying Dutchman, which probably dates back to the late 18th century.
The story describes a ghostly-looking ship destined to sail the ocean for eternity. Sightings of the ship were seen as a portent of doom, and the tales got embellished with every telling.
Those who were out sailing at sea would see this ship floating along the water, and they'd hail it down to try to figure out what was going on. And when they would talk to the crew, who would appear like you or I, the crew would start mentioning people or places that were long gone.
The Flying Dutchman, in reports, was often described as being accompanied by a cloud, just like the ship in the footage. But in one important way, the Flying Dutchman does not match the description of the ship in Montevideo Harbor.
What's different about this is we're seeing a ghost ship that's actually flying in the sky.
But the very first ghost ship stories seem to describe phenomenon similar to that seen in the footage.
The earliest ghost ship legends go back to the Dark Ages.
The ghost ships were called cloud ships and were believed to inhabit a cloud realm known as Magonia.
This mystical land was first mentioned by Bishop Agabad of Leon. It is said that entire ships, manned by ghosts, would travel the clouds.
There's this weird ship just floating in the air, almost like a ghost ship. But that can't be real, right?
How do you make a Pinot Noir taste like no other? Start with grapes from 3 California regions. Push flavor in new directions. And put a bear on the label. Made like no other for a taste like no other. Meiomi. Flavor forward.
Introducing the ingenious new Upwalker Lite, the safer, more comfortable way to get you up on your feet. From the makers of the award-winning original Upwalker, the Upwalker Lite is now 34% lighter, much easier to maneuver, and features a new lower price.
The Upwalker is revolutionary. A walker has the patient in the hunched over position, whereas when you have the Upwalker, you're able to walk upright because your balance is there.
It takes a lot of pressure off my back and my knees and my ankles. There's a lot less pain, so it makes me want to get out.
My Upwalker Lite allows me to shop, to go to dinner, to see my grandkids. I have freedom again.
Just call or visit upwalkerlite.com. We have new low prices and affordable, easy payment plans. The Upwalker Lite comes fully assembled, features adjustable arms, and is now 34% lighter. The Upwalker Lite is easy to turn, so it's perfect for navigating tight spaces indoors and still enjoying more independence outdoors. A clinical study found users of the Upwalker felt safer and more secure, could walk with less pain, and had improved upright posture, resulting in better stamina.
What I hated about my rollator was I was always looking down, but with my Upwalker Lite, I look ahead when I walk, and I feel like I want to go out now.
Call now and get free shipping, plus a free beverage holder, a free backrest, and a free carrying bag. Your Upwalker Lite comes backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee.
With the Upwalker Lite, my kids can sleep at night because I am secure.
Visit upwalkerlight.com or call 800-416-9136. Learn about our easy payment plans. Call 800-416-9136 right now.
Did you already brush your teeth tonight? Well, guess tonight's gonna be a two-brush night, right? Not sorry, Reese's.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Yeah, right. Pepperoni pockets, an atomic brownie, cuckoo crusty.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch. You're the man.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
There's just nothing better than a plate of Mama's famous pasta. Her recipe's top secret.
Michelina's. Let Mama feed you.
What's the secret to natural bliss? We choose perfect, simple ingredients. Farm fresh milk and cream, pure cane sugar, and Madagascar vanilla.
That's one tasty secret.
Natural bliss. Keep it real, make it simple.
A mysterious vessel appears to be floating in a cloud outside the South American port of Montevideo.
It looks like a ghost ship.
Climatologist Kelsey Ellis studies the footage and is intrigued by the weather conditions in the bay.
What's surprising here is this gaseous mist that seems to be supporting the boat.
Surrounding what looks like the mysterious boat's smokestack is a dark cloud floating above the sea.
Not all clouds are rain clouds, so what we're seeing here may be caused by something a little more unsettling.
The dark cloud, which seems to follow the boat, could be key to understanding how the ship appears to be floating in the clouds.
Based on what we're seeing on this video and where and when it was filmed, I think we might be seeing wildfire smoke here.
Uruguay's next-door neighbor is Brazil. The Brazilian government has encouraged farmers to burn down the rainforest. It is estimated that every day, 300 square miles of virgin rainforest is burnt to the ground.
The number of fires raging in the Amazon right now are so vast that they're visible from space.
Weather reports confirm that on this day, Amazon wildfire smoke reached Montevideo.
Wildfire smoke moves based on the atmosphere's conditions. So if it's unstable, it allows the wildfire smoke to rise through the atmosphere and then it doesn't really bother anyone. But on stable conditions, when the smoke cannot rise up, it gets stuck closer to the Earth's surface where it becomes a hazard to people.
If the dark cloud in the footage is smoke from the wildfire, then it appears to be behaving strangely. It's neither hugging the ground nor dispersing into the atmosphere.
So what we might be seeing here is that the smoke is stuck under a certain layer of the atmosphere and unable to escape.
And if this is a cloud of smoke, then Kelsey believes this may be a case of pareidolia, a psychological effect where the human mind tries to make sense of random patterns.
People see all kinds of images in smoke, visions from anything from Jesus to the devil.
The footage is digitally magnified to see if the smokestacks are themselves made of smoke.
If you look at the smokestack in the clouds, the details are all the way down to the actual smoke coming out of the chimney itself. It just looks too detailed to be simply pareidolia.
Meteorological records show there is more than smoke in the harbor that day.
You know, I've had a look at this video, and I agree, it's pretty weird. But I think what we're seeing here is entirely natural. I think we're seeing another one of nature's strange tricks, the false horizon. according to weather reports, there was fog in the morning and then black smoke from Amazon fires later in the day.
And I think these things together are creating a falsely low impression of where the horizon should be.
A layer of cold air suspended above the sea has caused the water in the air to condense and form a blanket of fog across the harbor. And it just happens to blend in with the color of the sky, which makes the fog and the skyline appear to merge.
Your mind works on the basis that we have some place where we expect the horizon to be, but that's being obscured by the fog and the smoke. So that ship we see in the sky could very well be on the water, but just far away.
And actually you can extrapolate where the horizon should be if you follow the line of the pier out into sea.
You then have the black smoke in the background, and that ship is in the fog, with its chimney popping out over the top of it.
It's possible that false horizons like this have contributed to stories of ghost ships. And whilst this combination of fog and smoke acting together to fool the human eye might not be supernatural, in some ways, it is still a portent of doom.
False horizon could have really bad consequences, especially in a busy working port like this where any collisions could be deadly.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A city of 500,000 people on the shores of Lake Michigan. July 2015. As night falls, something appears in the sky, and local man Jimmy Harris quickly reacts.
Look, y'all, those are aliens. A big flame came from outer space straight into our atmosphere. Those are aliens coming down here, y'all.
He is saying what I think we're all thinking in our heads.
They're coming to Earth. Y'all need to be calling down news.
The sighting sparks panic in the streets.
We getting invaded. The whole block went screaming. Kids went to screaming. Elder ladies that never seen this before was screaming. Officers, do something about that.
Then the object does something extraordinary.
Oh, it's breaking up. Oh, look at that.
Now there's 2, 3, 4, 5.
The multiple bright objects make a shape in the sky. And then they seem to stop.
Look at that. They stop. They stop. Look at that. They set themselves up like a 5-dotted dice.
Oh, that doesn't look like a falling object anymore.
Ooh, that's creepy. They're just slowly moving around in formation.
They dividing! They dividing up! We getting invaded! They're coming to Earth! Oh, they're coming faster!
I'm going to say what I'm sure we're all thinking, which is that this is aliens. This is UFOs.
They stop! Look at that! Those are aliens!
Are our skies home to alien invaders? Or is the weather playing tricks on us? Could meteorological phenomena explain these bizarre lights over Milwaukee? Similar incidents have been reported in Oklahoma.
Quapaw is a town in northeast Oklahoma, and it's famous for its spook lights. E50 Road is known locally as the Spook Light Road, or as the Devil's Promenade.
Here, people report seeing strange lights floating in the distance that seem to come towards them.
This is not a recent phenomenon. Reports of the spook light go back as far as the 1860s. The Army Corps of Engineers reportedly investigated the phenomenon in 1946. They found that the lights were real, but they couldn't find any explanation for what caused them. Some think that the area's flat topography might be producing this incredible light show.
The results suggested the flat topography and weird atmospheric conditions combined to produce the lights. As the light passes through the different air masses, it bends, turning the atmosphere into a giant lens. This can be powerful enough to bend the light from car headlights dozens of miles away, making them look like they are floating above the floor.
Of course, I don't think that the alien lights over the city in this clip are being caused by car headlights, because they're far too high up.
The bright objects in the sky and the footage could be much higher than they look.
When looking up at the sky, it can be very difficult to work out how big something is or how far away it is. So I think that maybe what we're looking at here is absolutely massive, but really far away, right up in the troposphere. I think that the idea of some kind of electrical activity, like a ball of electrified plasma high in the atmosphere, is really interesting. Studies have uncovered a whole new family of exotic electrical events taking place at extremely high altitudes.
In 2015, European astronaut Andreas Mogensen, whilst on board the International Space Station, took photographs of thunderstorms from above and discovered an incredible new array of electrical discharges. These are blue jets. He filmed hundreds, some reaching as high as 25 miles into the atmosphere. Later that year, another crew on board the ISS caught these, known as red sprites. These giant flashes reached an astonishing 62 miles above the surface of the Earth. But when U.S. Air Force pilot Jose Sarduy analyzes the object in the footage,
They stop! Look at that!
he doubts that it's electrified plasma.
These aerial phenomena don't seem to be moving, as described by Navy pilots in the past that have seen other phenomena like this. The guy says they're hovering, and yet they keep getting closer to the tree line, so it seems like they're clearly just falling slower.
Studying the footage closer, Sarduy spots a familiar-shaped cloud in the footage.
That's interesting.
It's a contrail. When hot and humid engine exhaust mixes with cold air, condensation occurs and a cloud is formed. The narrow width of this contrail tells the pilot that an airplane flew past recently.
Looking at the trajectory of the lights in this video, I think that they are probably military flares.
When decoy flares are deployed from military aircraft, they fall to the ground and they can create unique patterns of light in the sky. It's easy to mistake decoy flares for something like a UFO.
I'm your Uncle Cooper, and I care about three things. I care about you. I care about tires. I care about your tires. These Cooper tires are dependable. Well-made tires that come with an 80,000-mile warranty. That's an 80,000-mile promise from an American company. Gives a person something to believe in. In summation, I care about you, tires, and your tire choices. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! Tires are how I show my love.
Life doesn't give you many second chances. But a Subaru can.
You guys okay?
Eyesight with pre-collision braking. Standard on the Subaru Ascent. The 3-row Subaru Ascent. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on select models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event.
All right, I brought in Ensure Max Protein to give you the protein you need with less of the sugar you don't. I'll take that.
30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein with nutrients to support immune health.
Stouffer's mac and cheese is made with 100% real cheese.
So creamy.
So cheesy.
It's too bad you're a dog. This is really creamy. You'd love it.
Stouffer's, the taste you love at a price you'll love.
The story of the Kind Mini. We took the full-size bar and cut it in half. So the next time it's 3 o'clock and you want some delicious dark chocolate, grab a dark chocolate nuts and sea salt mini with whole almonds and just 90 calories. It's a kinder way to satisfy.
I like Liberty Mutual. They get that no two people are alike. And customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. What do you think?
I don't see it. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Oh, hello. Did you know that Coffee Mate is triple churn and 2 times richer than milk for 1 perfect cup of coffee? How do I know so much about Coffee Mate? I've had a cup or 200.
Coffee Mate. Coffee's perfect mate.
This summer, we've all got miles to make up. Miles to the job site, to the campsite, and anything else we set our sights on. Miles back to those who can make this summer mean more than ever. We can help you get the most out of those miles during the Ram Summer Clearance Event.
Right now, get $7,300 in total values on the 2020 Ram 1500. Shop and buy online at ram.com.
Ever wonder where the capital A in Chick-fil-A came from? It started with grade A, top quality chicken. But we believed everything, not just the food, should be grade A. A is for all the little things we do to bring you our best every day.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A is a smile. I want to give the guests a little encouragement, maybe just a little joke that makes them laugh when they come through the drive-thru. We can stay 6 feet apart and have the best air high five.
Our 12-step process provides 100% pure quality water.
Earn box tops for your school with Nestle Pure Life. Available across these fun packs.
And welcome in, everyone. You are watching Weather Underground.
Both weekend days look great, Saturday and Sunday.
Get outside, enjoy, go for a bike ride, walk the dog. Why? Because it's going to be awesome.
Looks fantastic.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us on AMHQ.
Jim, Jen, and Steph all here with you to get you out the door, help you kick off a new week.
Can you get a better forecast than that?
I have never seen anything like that. Summer is just better when it starts with the Weather Channel.
In Milwaukee, weird lights fall over the city, then hover in a strangely precise pattern.
Aliens! Aliens!
Physicist Liv Boeree wants to see if it is possible that these are military flares from a nearby airbase and has set up an experiment.
So to test my theory, I'm going to build a flare and shoot it up into the sky. The sun's going down and the light is getting dark, so the conditions should be similar. And my flare is a type of firework known as a crossette, which starts out as a single point of light and then splits into multiple lights. So hopefully that'll look like what we saw in the video. Certainly very pretty, but I don't think it was right, because in the video, the lights were sort of hanging there and then split apart and moved back together slowly, kind of with this synchronicity, whereas my flare was kind of chaotic. So I think it's back to the drawing board.
The synchronicity of the lights suggests a human intelligence at work in the sky over Milwaukee.
So I'm wondering if it could be like one of those displays of parachutes when people come down and they've got a flare and they're together at the top and then they break apart into the separate entities.
So you think that original big light was all of them together and then they split apart?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can buy that.
Yeah.
Records of the night of the incident reveal a famous team of parachutists was in the area.
Golden Knights are one of America's finest skydiving teams. They formed in 1959 out of Fort Bragg in North Carolina. They're also known to do a pyrotechnic display at nighttime, jumping with burning torches that leave fire trail in the night sky.
It's breaking up! Oh!
The team deploying their parachutes explains why the lights appear to simultaneously slow down to a near stop.
Look at that, they stop!
After letting off their parachutes, they release more pyrotechnics and engage in more formations and continue flying underneath their parachutes.
Aliens!
The parachutists in the sky above Milwaukee certainly capture the imagination of the public.
They looking at us!
I think looking up at the night sky and seeing lights in formation like that would be really interesting to see for anybody.
The idea that these could be parachutists is far less terrifying than the other prospects.
They're dividing up! We can divide it!
In the sky over Brazil, lights that are even harder to explain. A glowing snake-like entity undulates in the midnight air.
I have never seen anything like this before. This is pretty spooky.
What could have produced a light like this?
It reminds some of clandestine experiments performed by the world's most controversial inventor.
Nikola Tesla was fascinated with the idea of harvesting electricity from the sky.
Is someone or something secretly taking energy from the atmosphere?
There's potentially billions of joules of electricity ready to be pulled out of the atmosphere.
Sao Paulo is the biggest city in the Southern Hemisphere. Home to more than 12 million people, drawn to its famously pleasant climate. At an altitude of 2,460 feet, it is much cooler than steaming Rio de Janeiro. February 2020, 11:50 p.m. software developer Diego Fortes sits on his couch when a weird string of red lights catches his eye. He assumes it's a reflection on the glass, but when he opens the window, the light is still next to the moon. He gets his phone out to film it.
Wow, the light seems to be moving through the air, almost like some kind of incandescent sky snake.
The lights flicker around as if they were slithering through the sky.
It almost looks like it's a string attached to the moon, but we know that that can't be the case.
Then they are joined by another, white this time, and flicking.
So it looks like there's actually two. There's a red one, but then below it and to the right, there's a string of white lights, which are also just hanging there in the sky.
Finally, the lights seem to join together, forming a huge snake-like presence over the mega city.
The way it's moving, it doesn't look like any kind of aircraft I've ever seen.
Experts are baffled.
It doesn't seem like it could be a flare, and it also doesn't seem like it could be a dying firework. Could it be some kind of warning or some sort of threat?
There appears to be more than one object in the footage, and they appear to be some kind of kites, a common sight on the more dangerous streets of Sao Paulo.
There have been reports of children in the slums in Sao Paulo acting as messengers via their kites for drug kingpins, for gangs. So warning people if the police are coming, or if there's a new shipment of merchandise that has come in, or if they're open for business.
But these kites are very different. The string seems to be glowing with some form of energy.
You may have heard a story about Benjamin Franklin, who wanted to prove that electricity was the principal component of lightning. And to do so, he did a very unwise thing, really, which was to fly a kite in a thunderstorm.
So he had a string on a kite, put it up in the sky during a storm, saw the hairs of his string stand up, which was the first marking that there was electricity in the sky. And then when his kite was actually struck, that electricity was grounded into a jar.
So what Franklin was doing, very primitively and on a very small scale, was harvesting electricity from the sky, almost like an electron farmer. Fortunately for the history of science, nothing bad happened to Benjamin Franklin, but anyone trying this at home may not be quite so lucky.
Franklin's electrical discovery might shed light on the mysterious lights above Sao Paulo.
Are the kites interacting with something which perhaps we can't see, but that causes them to emit this light?
I am Robert Strickler. I've been involved in communications in the media for 45 years. I've been taking Prevagen on a regular basis for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Ta-da! Did you know Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need?
I should get a quote.
Do it.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is my new Shaq-a-Roni pizza. Extra cheese, extra pepperoni right to the edge, and the biggest slices in Papa John's history. But it's bigger than pizza because $1 from each sale is donated to support communities.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis or psoriatic arthritis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats differently. For psoriasis, 75% clearer skin is achievable with reduced redness, thickness, and scaliness of plaques. For psoriatic arthritis, Otezla is proven to reduce joint swelling, tenderness, and pain. And the Otezla prescribing information has no requirement for routine lab monitoring. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla. Show more of you.
There's a lot that we love about our Oscar.
Except for scooping his litter box.
Then we tried the litter robot, and now we never have to scoop litter again. It's self-cleaning, and unlike others that we've tried, it actually works. All we do is empty the drawer and add fresh litter. That's how easy it is.
It really helps to reduce odor. I mean, you wouldn't even know we had a cat. We love it.
Oscar loves it.
All I did was order online, litterrobot.com.
Thanks, Litter Robot.
Thanks, Litter Robot.
We've always put safety first. And we always will. For people. For the future. And there has never been a summer when it's mattered more. Wherever you go, summer safely. Get 0% APR financing for up to 5 years on select models and exclusive lease offers.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. America's Morning Headquarters has you covered.
We've already got some rain out there this morning.
So start every day with the best in weather. Join Jim Cantori, Stephanie Abrams, and Jen Carfagno. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Don't let slow internet keep you from getting back to business. Make the easy switch to Cox Business to get fast, reliable, fiber-fueled internet speeds. Protect your critical data with our security suite and around-the-clock network monitoring. Backed by our 24/7 business class support. Ask about adding our latest Wi-Fi technology to ensure wall-to-wall coverage. Get the solutions you need to get back to business with Cox Business. Enjoy this limited time offer when you switch today.
Hey, Luke, wake up. You fell asleep again.
Why do I always fall asleep on the bus after school? Why am I so tired?
That's what we always wondered. But then he was diagnosed with narcolepsy, so he was more than tired. Narcolepsy can affect anyone, children and adults. We waited too long to take action, but you don't have to.
Visit morethantired.com now. Learn about the 5 symptoms of narcolepsy, take the narcolepsy symptom screener, and find a sleep specialist. Don't wait. Visit morethantired.com today.
A snake-like string of strange lights over Sao Paulo might be some kind of secret electricity harnessing device. A single lightning bolt can contain up to 1 billion joules of energy. That's enough to power a 60-watt light bulb for over 6 months.
In an ideal world, if we could harvest all the electrical discharges from thunderstorms around the world, we could, as a species, have a nearly inexhaustible supply of energy. Unfortunately, it is a little difficult. Another electricity pioneer, Nikola Tesla, was also fascinated with the idea of harvesting electricity from the sky.
Even today, Nikola Tesla commands an almost cult-like following. He was obsessed with the idea that electricity could be captured from the air and transmitted through it. He's most famous for developing the alternating current system, allowing electricity to be transmitted over great distances. But as far back as 1896, Tesla was working on oscillators for wireless energy transfer. He was convinced that with ingenuity, we could tap into the natural electricity that surrounds the globe.
When we think of naturally occurring electricity, we naturally think of thunderstorms and lightning, which is the most obvious example. But actually, there is a constant background system of electricity that runs around the entire planet.
In 1901, Tesla started work on the Wardenclyffe Tower, a structure he believed could transmit messages across the world, harnessing the energy locked in the atmosphere.
In fact, due to the effects of ionizing solar radiation, the Earth's atmosphere has a continuous circuit of electrical current running through it.
The circuit is driven by the sun's high-energy rays, which strip electrons from particles high up in the atmosphere. Negatively charged electrons from below are drawn up to replace them. The potential difference from the surface of the Earth to the top of the atmosphere is 400,000 volts. A power source that could heat and light the whole planet, energize all of man's electronic devices, and even create unstoppable super weapons for the military.
The global atmospheric electrical circuit is the presence of electricity everywhere from the sky to the ground. So we're constantly walking through it, basically.
So even on a clear day, even if you can't see it, there is electricity effectively floating around in the atmosphere.
Tesla's plan never saw fruition. Some say he was stopped in his tracks by powerful corporations who were scared he was going to share free atmospheric electrical energy with everyone on the planet. Now, 100 years later, companies in the U.S. are trying to pick up where Tesla left off, and they are using kites.
Today, the company Ion Power Group has actually patented a system to actually do that, take electricity from the atmosphere and harness it. The idea is to send up kites coated with graphene, and that graphene can actually pull ions out of the air into a battery where that energy is stored.
Other countries are racing to beat the USA to be the first to master this huge resource of untapped energy. Russian scientists Leonid and Sergei Plekhanov are working on a project to rebuild the Wardenclyffe Tower using 21st century technology. Is the object in Sao Paulo a sign that Brazil, South America's emerging superpower, could be racing to harness sky power too?
So could it be then that what we're looking at is a new technology, this new technology used to harvest electricity from the atmosphere, and the light is the electricity that's being harvested interacting with the graphene in the kites?
This sky harvesting technology is not commonplace. There's only reports of its potential use and no evidence of it actually being used.
So until more evidence emerges, who or what was flying glittering kite-like objects over Sao Paulo that night remains unexplained.
More likely, it's just another one of our sky mysteries that we might never find out.
3,000 feet above the frigid North Sea, disaster strikes. A helicopter is crippled in the middle of a sudden storm. The pilots struggle for control as it sinks helplessly towards the sea.
Mayday, Mayday, 5-6 Charlie.
They're far from land, off the radar screens. No one knows exactly where they are. In the days that follow, investigators search for truth hidden in this tangled wreck. The cause of the crash shocks those involved and reveals a hidden danger that reaches far beyond the North Sea.
Mayday, Mayday.
The need for oil drives men to some of the most unpleasant places on Earth. This is one of them. The North Sea divides Britain from mainland Europe. It's a shallow sea, so the cool winds which race across it can whip up enormous waves. The sea is cold, gray, and violent. But there's oil out here, and so dozens of drilling platforms and thousands of people must face whatever the weather throws at them. The only efficient way to get the workers out there is by helicopter. The flights are rough and long, up to 300 miles each way. After years, the trip has become routine. The danger below, forgotten by many.
What was that?
But on a cold January morning in 1995, 18 men flying over the North Sea face a horrible question.
Mayday, 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 tail rotor failure, ditching.
Can they survive in this extremely hostile environment?
Oh, God.
January 19th, 1995. Commander Cedric Roberts and First Officer Lionel Sole work for Bristow Helicopters in Aberdeen, Scotland. Their job is to ferry oil workers out to the oil platforms in the North Sea. By mid-morning, they've completed one trip already and are getting ready to head back out. Their helicopter is Super Puma 5-6 Charlie. While it's being checked out and refueled, Flight Officer Sole checks the flight logs. And Commander Roberts goes through the weather reports, which are updated every 2 hours.
Weather's okay. Good for January.
Because the oil rigs are so far offshore and the weather so unpredictable, helicopters are the only way to reliably ferry workers back and forth. Hundreds of thousands of people make the trip every year. The Super Pumas are one of the workhorses of the North Sea oil industry. Used around the world by industry and military, they are durable, tough, and made to withstand the elements. The passengers heading to the platforms today gather in the heliport departure lounge. They all work for the Texas company Marathon Oil. None of them are permitted to board a helicopter without first going through this. Helicopter underwater escape training. Their lives may depend on knowing how to get out of a submerged helicopter or oil rig, and knowing what to do once they find themselves in the chilly North Sea. Before they set off on every flight, they must watch the video, How to Behave If There's an Emergency on Your Flight. They've seen it all 1,000 times.
To exit through the windows, pull the red tab to completely remove the rubber seal.
The passengers fasten survival suits. Made of Gore-Tex, these dry suits won't keep them afloat, but are supposed to keep the water out if the workers are thrown into the sea.
The forward windows.
Their bright color is also designed to make rescue easier. The trip to the Bray Alpha oil platform is roughly 140 miles. If all goes well, it will take a little more than an hour. 120 miles out, they'll reach an area called the Gate. That's where all the helicopters split up and go their separate ways to the individual oil platforms. Bray Alpha is about 25 miles from the Gate. For part of the journey, the radar operators at Air Traffic Control in Aberdeen will not be able to see them.
The reason why we lose low-level radar coverage out over the North Sea is, in essence, because the Earth is round. As a helicopter's flying outbound to an oil rig, it's actually following the curvature of the Earth.
But radar pulses travel in straight lines, which means that as they travel further and further away, a gap opens up between the surface of the Earth and the radar waves.
If an aircraft flies into that gap, then it'll disappear from radar. In the case of Aberdeen, a helicopter operating about 2,000 feet will disappear into that gap at about 80 miles.
It's a black hole, which Super Puma 56 Charlie is now entering. The helicopter and the 18 men on board are over halfway to the oil rigs. From this moment on, no one knows exactly where they are. The crew is getting concerned about what they see on their weather radar. The forecast called for scattered clouds, but the weather is changing fast.
What do you think about this cloud?
It's quite thin.
Yeah, but look, we're getting some cumulus too. It's quite small, about 100 yards across.
Yeah, but it's developing a bit.
Cumulus are puffy white clouds, and usually harmless. But helicopter pilots prefer to go above them if possible, because the air inside and below gets very bumpy.
Let's try to climb above it. Go to 5,000 feet.
Right. Oh, look, there's a line of them. All along the route exactly where we're going.
Yeah, we're not gaining anything by this.
No.
Let's drop back down to 3,000 feet.
Right.
So far, the weather is nothing to worry about. But over the North Sea, it can change in an instant. It's now 1 hour after takeoff, and 56 Charlie is approaching the gate, the point where helicopters begin their descent to the individual oil platforms. They are 25 miles from their destination, and the weather is starting to get worse.
Bray traffic, 56 Charlie, 120 miles on the 056 HMR.
They make contact with Bray Traffic Watch, located on one of the oil platforms. It handles all the comings and goings of helicopters, but Bray Traffic doesn't have radar either. It too has to rely on the pilots to tell them where they are.
Leaving 3,000 feet, would you take the flight watch?
Roger, 56 Charlie, I have your flight watch.
Aberdeen information, Bristow's 56 Charlie at 120 miles. Leaving 3,000 feet, Bray has the flight watch.
Roger, 56 Charlie, continue with Bray traffic.
Quite suddenly, the weather changes. A line of dangerous cumulonimbus clouds is now blocking their path. Pilots try to avoid them at all costs. Inside gusts of wind can reach 60 miles per hour. The turbulence can make the flight unpleasant, but that's only part of the danger. There can be heavy rain, icing, and lightning. Lightning is one of the most powerful forces of nature. Aircraft can't completely avoid it. On average, every passenger jet will be hit once a year by lightning. But the design of the planes help them from being badly damaged. Their bodies are traditionally made of aluminum, which is a good conductor of electricity. The lightning passes harmlessly along the fuselage and exits from the tail. Helicopters use the same type of design to keep safe, and helicopters need it in the North Sea. With such stormy weather and so many helicopters, lightning strikes are inevitable.
Behind every 2020 census taker's mask is a friendly neighbor. They're teachers, retirees, vets, people committed to doing right by getting the count right. If you haven't responded yet, they'll be stopping by to ask some simple questions that will inform how billions in federal funds are spent on local services every year for the next decade. So when they come knocking, say hi from a safe distance and do your part to support your community. Time is running out. Shape your future. Start here at 2020census.gov.
I wanted my hepatitis C gone.
I put off treating mine.
Epclusa treats all main types of chronic hep C. Whatever your type, Epclusa could be your kind of cure.
I just found out about mine.
I knew for years. Epclusa has a 98% overall cure rate.
I had no symptoms of hepatitis C.
Mine caused liver damage.
Epclusa is only one pill, once a day, taken with or without food for 12 weeks. Before starting Epclusa, your doctor will test if you have had hepatitis B, which may flare up and could cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you have had hepatitis B, other liver or kidney problems, HIV or other medical conditions, and all medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Epclusa may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects include headache and tiredness. Ask your doctor today if Epclusa is your kind of cure.
On the road again. Book 2 separate qualifying stays and earn a free night. The open road is open again, and wherever you're headed, Choice Hotels is there. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
With Domino's $5.99 mix and match deal, you can feed a family of 4 for about $3 per person. So we asked one of our families to help us make this commercial about that deal. Safely feed a family of 4 for about $3 per person with the $5.99 mix and match deal.
Yeah. Oh, straight, we ain't stopping, believe me. Go straight till the morning, no lie, we won't wait. And we're taking everything we wanted, we can do it all straight. Oh, shit.
Why would your kids need a Greenlight debit card? Imagine a debit card and app designed to help them develop healthy financial habits, to teach them how to save and encourage them to set their own goals. Now imagine the difference it could make in their lives, in their futures. Greenlight.
How do you make a Pinot Noir taste like no other? Start with grapes from 3 California regions. Push flavor in new directions. And put a bear on the label. Made like no other for a taste like no other. Meiomi. Flavor forward.
Whoever said our planet had to explain itself. Explore the strange phenomena of our weird Earth. Sunday nights on the Weather Channel.
.56 Charlie is a Super Puma helicopter serving the North Sea oil platforms off the coast of Britain. It's halfway through a long flight carrying 16 passengers to the Bray Alpha oil rig. As they begin their descent, the Super Puma enters the line of clouds that stands in their path.
Bits of cloud coming up here.
No, it's okay. It's still green. Let's carry on through that.
But the weather gets more intense. They begin to get pelted by hail.
Hey, where'd this come from?
It's coming in through the vent.
It's like being inside a beanbag swamped by polystyrene balls.
It's so thick. How come the engines are still running? There can't be any air left out there.
No.
Now, another problem.
We've got a hard over on the ice detector.
It's probably just an ice pellet stuck in the probe.
Right.
The helicopter has an ice detector, a probe outside the craft which is supposed to tell the pilots whether there is ice on the blades. But they think it's become jammed with ice and is giving a false reading. And then... disaster.
Bloody hell.
What was that?
Lightning, I saw it. Oh, this is bad. There's something very, very wrong with this. We'll have to go down, I'm afraid.
The crew's first instinct is to get down to a lower altitude in case the worst happens and they fall out of the sky.
Mayday, mayday, 5-6 Charlie, lightning strike, severe vibration. Mayday, mayday.
25 miles away, another helicopter is about to leave a different oil platform. Commander Brian Backhouse is loading passengers onto 5-6 Bravo and preparing to fly back to Aberdeen.
That's everyone. All set.
Suddenly, the loading officer hears Lionel Soul's Mayday call on his radio.
Mayday, mayday, 5-6 Charlie, lightning strike.
Hear that, Mayday, 56 Charlie?
Gentlemen, my apologies, but we have to disembark you. We have an airborne emergency on a sister aircraft.
Backhouse hurriedly unloads his passengers. He intends to help if he can. Meanwhile, a gale is steadily building up, with winds over 40 miles per hour. The seas are mounting. Positioned near the oil rigs is the Grampian Freedom, a standby ship to give the oil workers a way to escape in case anything goes wrong. Her skipper, John McInnes, hears the helicopter's distress call.
We increased the speed to full speed ahead. Everybody was informed about the vessel and told to get ready for survivors to be taken aboard.
Back on the Bravo platform, what was a routine flight for Brian Backhouse is about to become a rescue mission. He intends to find the stricken helicopter and nurse it to safety. If it crashes into the sea, he'll direct rescue ships to the spot. But they're not sure where to go.
Let's go to the gate and proceed from there.
At least they'll have a starting point. The Grampian Freedom doesn't know where to go either. They're getting conflicting messages about where 5-6 Charlie is. The helicopter's tiny size and the rough seas make it hard to find. On the damaged helicopter, Commander Roberts briefs the passengers.
Gentlemen, you are obviously aware of the severe vibration. We've had a lightning strike, so please pull up your hoods, zip up your suits, and prepare for a possible ditching.
Countless hours of training are supposed to prepare everyone on board for a moment like this. In a real emergency, how many will remember it?
1,200 feet, we're still flying. Let's try to make it a Bray Alpha and land there.
Their destination, the Bray Alpha platform, is now only 6 miles away. 3 minutes have passed since the explosion, and things don't seem to be getting any worse.
I'll just try a few small inputs, make sure everything's working. Yes, we've got control in pitch, we've got control in roll, and we've got control in yaw.
Tail rotor!
The helicopter is beginning to spin round, a sure sign that something's happened to the tail rotor. The only thing the pilots can do to stop the spinning is to switch off the main rotor blade.
Power off, engines off.
Ditching has become inevitable. Helicopter 5-6 Charlie is falling fast, nearly 2,000 feet a minute, with the main rotor acting like a kind of parachute, the blades being turned only by the air that rushes through them.
Mayday, mayday, tail rotor failure, ditching. Brace for emergency landing.
At this speed, they're about 40 seconds from hitting the North Sea. The other pilots in 5-6 Bravo are searching in vain. There's no sign of 5-6 Charlie in the sky or in the water. Then, they hear another distress call.
Mayday, mayday, tail rotor failure, ditching.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Relaying for 5-6 Charlie. We have a suspected tail rotor failure. He is ditching.
Captain Backhouse knows that he is the closest to the stricken helicopter. But he's not equipped to locate the distress beacon 5-6 Charlie will use when it ditches. All he can do is search mile after mile of gray sea. Back on the Grampian Freedom, the crew begins searching the sea as well as the sky. But they know 5-6 Bravo can cover more ground more quickly than the enormous slow-moving ship. They do what they can and wait for better directions.
Floats, floats, I can't find the floats!
I got it. Just keep it at trim angle. Right.
The pilots of 5-6 Charlie are about to attempt one of the most difficult maneuvers: ditching, or landing in the middle of the heaving sea.
Hey, you brought some brats, huh? What if the store took back all the brats you didn't eat at the end of the month the way some wireless companies take back your data?
That would be weird.
TracFone Wireless gives you unlimited carryover data, so if you pay for brats, you get to keep your brats. You also get unlimited talk and text on America's best 4G LTE networks for $20, no contract.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, hit decline. I don't want to talk to her. Hit me. Get me. This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control.
There's a lot that we love about our Oscar.
Except for scooping his litter box.
Then we tried the litter robot, and now we never have to scoop litter again. It's self-cleaning, and unlike others that we've tried, it actually works. All we do is empty the drawer and add fresh litter. That's how easy it is.
It really helps to reduce odor. I mean, you wouldn't even know we had a cat. We love it.
Oscar loves it.
All I did was order online, litterrobot.com.
Thanks, Litter Robot.
Thanks, Litter Robot.
Life doesn't give you many second chances. But a Subaru can.
You guys okay?
Eyesight with pre-collision braking. Standard on the Subaru Ascent. The 3-row Subaru Ascent. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on select models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 66. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 88. Winds southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday night, a few clouds. Low 69. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Mama, Mama.
Why do I keep falling asleep during the day? What's making me so tired?
Why does it feel like I'm still dreaming when I wake up? What could be causing this?
Hey, Luke, wake up. You fell asleep again.
Why do I always fall asleep on the bus after school? Why am I so tired?
It turns out we're more than tired. We have symptoms of narcolepsy, like the uncontrollable urge to sleep during the day, sudden muscle weakness during laughter or emotions.
Dreamlike hallucinations, or feeling paralyzed when falling asleep or waking up.
Or waking up frequently during the night.
If you or your child has any of these symptoms, it's time to do something about it. I waited too long to take action, but you don't have to. Learn more at morethantired.com. Take the narcolepsy symptom screener now and find a sleep specialist to share your results. Visit morethantired.com today. Don't wait any longer to take action.
.com.
Mayday, mayday. Tail rotor failure, ditching. Brace for emergency landing.
Helicopter 56 Charlie is going down over the North Sea with 2 crew members and 16 passengers on board. The pilots are making a desperate attempt to land on the water. Floats under the helicopter are meant to keep it from sinking. If they're deployed too soon before touchdown, the chopper may lose what little stability it has and topple over. Too late, and they won't inflate completely. Instead of riding the waves, the helicopter will sink below them. There is no second chance. They time it perfectly.
We're down.
Seems quite stable.
They've landed safely, but no one knows if they will stay afloat. Helicopters are top-heavy. They feel it could keel over and sink at any moment.
Let's get out of here! Through the door!
They need to get the life rafts out, inflate them, and board them quickly. If the helicopter rolls over, it will trap them all inside.
Lift that end! On the rope!
You go back and help with the evacuation. I'm going to shut things down here. Right. I'm going to try one last mayday call.
But the evacuation doesn't go smoothly. When they throw out one of the life rafts, the strong wind blows it back against the helicopter. They can't get into it.
Let's get this one down. Can we go on the other side? It's better we all stay together anyway. Off you go! Go on! Go on! Go! Go!
Mayday, mayday. 5-6 Charlie. We are on the water, floating, manning the dinghies.
He doesn't mention their position.
Make room! Get set! Make room!
The raft is dangerously overloaded. There are 18 on board, and it's only meant for 14. Water is already up to their ankles and rising. Once in the raft, they have no way of communicating where they are. For the first time, the pilots are able to see what caused the disaster. The rear rotor blade assembly and gearbox have broken off and are hanging down the side of the helicopter, held on by just a couple of pipes. No one realizes it yet, but in the rush, they've forgotten to bring the distress beacon with them from the helicopter. It sends out a signal that can be picked up by rescuers. Forgetting it could mean the difference between life and death. 2 ropes attach the life raft to the helicopter. They're meant to stop the raft from drifting away. But they'll also drag them down if the helicopter sinks. One of the passengers has a knife.
Shall I cut the line?
No, not yet. We have a better chance of being spotted if we're close to the helicopter.
Problems mount. The passengers are trying to raise the canopy to protect them, but it gets stuck. Without the canopy, they're at the mercy of the waves. And then, the helicopter itself becomes a danger. When the doors were jettisoned, they were supposed to be designed to slip down into the water and sink. Instead, one of them, which has a jagged edge, is floating on the surface and is heading straight for the raft. The life raft has been punctured by the floating door.
Come on, Bill! Bill, with everything you got, we're gonna sink!
No, don't worry about it. We're not gonna sink.
We've got double-layer rubber tubes here filled with air! It cannot sink! One wave and we're under!
The pilots do their best to put on a brave face.
There are other helicopters and ships out there! They know we're down! They heard our mayday!
The overloaded life raft is getting lower and lower in the water. Inside, it's already waist deep, and the pounding waves are pushing them beneath the sharp edges of the drooping helicopter blades.
It's the 610 woke up like this migraine medicine. It's called Ubrelvy, the migraine medicine for anytime, anywhere migraine strikes without worrying if it's too late or where you happen to be. 1 dose of Ubrelvy can quickly stop a migraine in its tracks within 2 hours. Many had pain relief in 1 hour. Do not take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Few people had side effects. Most common were nausea and tiredness. Ask about Ubrelvy, the anytime, anywhere migraine medicine.
The hottest new razor is taking the men's grooming world by storm. And if you don't have it, you need it. Micro Touch Solo, the hyper-advanced full-body razor that trims, shapes, edges, and even shaves with micro precision. And it's totally safe to the touch. Go solo for full body control with one tool. No nicks, bumps, or ingrown hairs. Edge beards and goatees with one touch. Clean your neck, barber shop perfect. And check this out. Snap on the guide to tame growth and perfectly shape your full beard. And keep new growth stubble trimmed exactly to your style. And look, the Solo Full Body Groomer trims precisely the length of hair you want. Snap off the guide and remove unwanted hair anywhere in seconds. What makes Solo different than your ordinary razor? Dual-sided German stainless steel blade. Shave up or down at 200 microstrokes per second. The Ultra Flex pivoting head contours perfectly to you for precise results. 3 custom grooming guides for control of exact length and shape. And a built-in LED light so you never miss a spot. Solo is so precise, you need no creams, no soaps, and no water. Ditch the old man clippers and toss the scissors. You've got to go solo. Call 1-800-585-0634 or go online at microtouchsolo.com and get yours now for only $19.99. Complete with German stainless steel blade, pivoting head, built-in spotlight, and 3 custom grooming guides. Everything you see here for just $19.99. The all-new MicroTouch Solo Full Body Groomer. The one tool that does it all.
This is my new Shaq-a-Roni pizza. Extra cheese, extra pepperoni right to the edge, and the biggest slices in Papa John's history. But it's bigger than pizza because $1 from each sale is donated to support communities.
Ever wonder where the capital A in Chick-fil-A came from? It started with grade A, top quality chicken. But we believed everything, not just the food, should be grade A. A is for all the little things we do to bring you our best every day.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A is a smile. I want to give the guests a little encouragement, maybe just a little joke that makes them laugh when they come through the drive-thru. We can stay 6 feet apart and have the best air high five. On the road again.
Book 2 separate qualifying stays and earn a free night. The open road is open again, and wherever you're headed, Choice Hotels is there. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
January 1995. A helicopter en route to an oil platform in the North Sea has gone down. The crew make an emergency landing on the water, and now their hopes for survival rest on their life raft and on being seen. They face a difficult decision.
We need to get some distance. We'll have to cut the line.
The 2 safety lines are still tying the life raft to the helicopter. One short, one long. But the long line is broken.
The long line's been cut. It's been shredded.
You'll have to cut the short one.
The short line is the only thing attaching them to the helicopter. If they cut that, they'll quickly drift away. A tiny raft full of men at the mercy of the sea. But if they don't cut it, the jagged edges of the helicopter could tear their life raft to shreds and sink them all. First Officer Lionel Soule takes the fateful decision and cuts the rope. They begin to drift away into the storm. The conditions are deadly. Most of their survival suits are leaking freezing water. For a person in the water, hypothermia can begin when the temperatures of air and water added together is below 120 degrees Fahrenheit. In the North Sea in winter, the temperature is far below that. Normal muscle and brain functions are quickly affected. The core body temperature will sink, followed by unconsciousness and death. Their chances of rescue are slim. No one knows where they are. Just a tiny dot on a vast, turbulent sea.
Quiet! Quiet! I hear something.
There's a helicopter!
The men are desperate. This could be their last chance.
Quickly! Pass me those flares! The flares! In the pocket behind you! Come on! by the flare, you blind bastard! Here, over here! Here it is! We're over here!
But it's all in vain. The helicopter passes by. The men can't believe it. Their only hope is gone. On 5-6 Bravo, Brian Backhouse can see only gray seas. But suddenly, his co-pilot spots something.
Contact. Right. 2 o'clock.
Okay, Roger, let's investigate.
Target. Contact. Target confirmed. 56 Charlie. Stand by for position report.
Like a guardian angel, 5-6 Bravo hovers directly above the survivors for over an hour, directing rescue boats and aircraft towards this tiny speck in the ocean.
He came in and hovered fairly close because he wanted to count the number of people on board the life raft. So for a while he was right over the top of us and blowing us around a bit. But as soon as he got the information he wanted, he backed off and he was just marking the position for the rescue craft to find us.
First to arrive is the ship Grampian Freedom.
We had lookouts posted all around the vessel, some on top of the bridge, on each wing of the bridge. A helicopter came and it started crisscrossing our bow, which is not our procedure in that kind of situation.
Almost a mile away from the raft, the Grampian Freedom launches its fast rescue boat. The boat sets off at full speed. But the rain and the waves make finding the life raft difficult.
Hey! There's a boat! It's coming fast! No, don't think us!
Relax, boys, they know what they're doing! Let's go! Quickly, go!
The rescue boat throws a lifeline to the stranded men, and they begin pulling themselves to safety.